When my team wins a big game, it's good.
What's up, Dip Nation? It's Dave. Dave Ruff, to be exact. I'm gonna host in Austin, Texas. As always, in studio with me, I've got none other than Dylan Shivery.
What up, what up? Happy
Wow.
to be here. Yeah, you
Got
know.
the double what up.
Yeah, man, we had a fantastic interview with Davis Warren, quarterback from Michigan, and I'm excited to, for the people to hear it. And it's got me in good spirits.
Yeah, you don't hear from a lot of people that listen to any of our shows or podcasts in general in high school. But this guy's been a listener in some capacity since then, which is always cool.
Dave, we're his friends now, so we can just call him
We
Dave.
can call him Dave, which I still am a little bit. It's unsettling that someone named Davis. I know Davis, David, they're only separated by
close.
one letter, Dylan,
The
as you
last
might
one.
know.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like Dave is reserved for David. But because I like him, because he's a listener and he seems like a great young man, I'm going to let him run with it. I'm not going to make him change his nickname.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, here's a guy with no need for an introduction. It's KJ Ellis.
Happy to be relegated to the second most popular, interesting, and best looking part of the Too Much Dip podcast from the Upper Midwest today. So glad to be with you, fellas.
Well, yeah, it was interesting having you guys juxtaposed on our monitor. You know, just a couple guys playing college ball or played college ball. You guys know what it's all about. You know what it takes. And that's why it was cool for guys like Dylan and I and producer Randy. It's like, wow, man, this is cool. This is what it's all about right here, man.
Just regular guys, just like us.
What are we going to do today?
We got a jam-packed episode,
We
Dave.
got a
That's
lot
what-
going
That's what we're
on.
freaking doing today.
Did you see this NASCAR fight?
Yeah.
Can I applaud
Fucking
NASCAR?
love it.
We don't want to spend. Look, I'm not going to pretend like I know any context or even attempted to look it up outside of finding different angles of this fight. But
You take a wild guess at like where the race was.
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sure you won't get it. I don't know it. Like I have nothing on the
Southeast.
notes.
I do want to say how much I appreciate NASCAR, like
Leaning into it?
leaning into it, like not necessarily being like, "Oh, this is awesome! Check out this fight," but like posting it from their social. Whereas, like, oh, I don't know, the PGA Tour, they would have like gone after anyone who posted it. They would have been like, take this down. They would have deleted it, so it never happened. Granted, they're two very different sports, but still, love to see it.
Yeah, if you missed it, and I don't know the young men's names, I'm not sure if that part's important.
It's not.
I'll give it to you.
I've never seen them before. Gotten little fisticuffs, I guess, after the race. One guy with the dumbest haircut I've ever seen in my entire life. Looks like he lost a bet.
He's on that Kim Jong swag.
Walks
That
up,
is
grabs the other dude,
Ross Chastain.
grabs the other dude by his shirt. What do you call those? Your racing
His fire
uniform?
retardant jacket.
Yes. Grabs him on the chest and he kind of like gives him a little shake. And then the other dude just clean right to
You know
the
what?
face.
Some people were saying he sucker punched him. That's not a sucker punch.
That's not a sucker punch.
Once you place your hand on the other person,
You're inviting a punch.
and he got it. He
Right
got
in-
it.
right in the kisser, pow.
I believe it was Noah Gregson. And I think KJ said
Correct.
Ross Chastain or Castain.
Just the worst haircut you're ever going to see on someone.
It's a tough
What is
tough
that
look. Well, you know what, man? He's got they have to wear the helmets.
What's that
Those
to do with having a bad haircut?
Well, I don't know. Maybe maybe it's hard to maintain some serious lettuce
What
if
an
you've got to wear the
idiot.
NASCAR helmet.
Getting punched like that is humiliating enough, but getting punched like that with that haircut, there's just no coming back from it.
Yeah.
It's a solid punch too.
It was.
And I love everything about the fact that whenever Gregson, I'm likely mispronouncing, whenever he delivers the punch, all of the officials in the very generic jackets that say official on the back, like they appear, and Gregson's doing like the best thing possible because before he's like, hey man, cool it. Not like I don't want the smoke, but like you need to calm down. Delivers the punch and then allows everybody else to step in and is like pushing them towards him like, hey, somebody come get this dude. I'm not trying to like fully whoop his ass here, but I got the message across. Like that was a tremendous way to handle it.
This dude's trying to rock the Tommy Shelby, like just some kind of Peaky Blinders look, and it's just not it.
This dude looks like, and I know this goes on in F1 racing. This dude looks like he has a really powerful dad that just bought his way into the sport and like, all right, just go race this car. But it looks like a total just doofus who doesn't belong there.
Yeah, he's kind of got a
Can I
Patrick
tell you
Reed
where-
quality.
He does.
Oh, I was going to say, can I tell you where his money has come from to get him into this position? Because it is the headline of Yahoo News' coverage of this.
Yeah, please.
Family roots in watermelon farming.
Okay.
His victory lane celebrations usually involve standing on the roof of his car, smashing a melon into pieces on the pavement.
I do like watermelon.
So he does a Gallagher tribute every time.
Exactly.
Okay, that's actually.
If we find out this is son of Gallagher, I'm back in on Ross Chastain.
Dude, that's
Hair bits galore.
That's actually pretty dope. All right, I take back any
still hate him.
criticism.
Still hate him.
He's a watermelon magnet or magnate. You don't see that too often.
No.
I might have said these names backwards, by the way, but
I
fuck
was
it.
wondering if
Somebody in the comments inevitably is going to like tell me it's not called a ninja choke or something. These names I may have conflated, but either way, there's your NASCAR minute.
Ooh, Ross
Hey.
Chastain is the guy who delivered the punch.
So did
Thank
KJ have
you.
it wrong?
He did. He had it backwards.
I had it backwards.
Oh, so we can't clip that.
Bad
Randy.
haircut
Way to
is
go, KJ.
Gregson. That's a Noah move.
Do you want to just do that all again so we can clip it? Because we've been doing pretty well with fight clips.
Well, let me tell you the name of the family with. I'm sorry, fuck it, whatever. Who cares?
No,
if you want to, I can. But
the funny thing, KJ, is that that Nate Diaz clip grew our YouTube subscribership like exponentially, and a lot of it I think is just people who are just they don't know who we are, and they're like they want to see what kind of dumbass shit I'm going to say next. Because as I've learned, I've got to be a little bit more. I got to like really review the clips to make sure like a joke that didn't even land on the pod because it was so deadpan and stupid definitely didn't land to the casual MMA fan who just saw our stuff on Instagram and YouTube. So I got to just pay a little bit more attention. That's on me.
I'm the idiot who went and Googled and I'm like, well, a ninja choke exists. It didn't occur in this video, but you weren't wrong. You made it a joke, but you whatever. I'm Team Dave on this. Anyhow,
It's hard,
in our own
man.
heads.
It's hard work being podcasters. Hey, before we get into it, before we talk to this feller named Davis with the lettuce, with the great flow, can we give a shout out to our friends at Nutrafol?
Please.
Something that I take every day. I know you take it every day.
I do.
You don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health, Dylan. What if I told you there's a holistic solution for men that promotes both healthier hair and whole body wellness? What if I told you that?
I would tell you I believe it because I've been taking it for months now and I am seeing the effects. I'm feeling the effects just as importantly.
What does that mean exactly?
I feel better.
Uh-huh.
You want me to say the part about being horny because of it, and I'll go ahead and admit it has made me hornier than I usually am. Yes, the libido has been a noticeable uptick,
Just rocked off.
and I don't hate it.
Get ahead of thinning hair with Nutrafol's whole body approach to hair growth. No drugs, no compromises. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. I've told this little anecdote before. I walk into my dermatologist's office. First thing I see behind the check-in, there's just a wall full of Nutrafol.
Well, that's an endorsement, Dave.
Yeah, they do quite well. And it's very cool to see that because they sponsor this pod. The Nutrafol's hair growth nutraceuticals go beyond genetics to multi-target the root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, nutrition, metabolism, aging, and lifestyle through whole body health. Physician formulated using natural medical grade ingredients. Nutrafol's drug-free patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health, Dylan.
Oh, buddy.
In a clinical study, men showed progressive improvement in hair growth and thickness after 3 and 6 months. Nutrafol is also trusted and recommended by over 3,000 top doctors. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering promo code DIP to save $10 off your first month's subscription. The offer is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. plus free shipping on every order. Get $10 off at Nutrafol.com. That's spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code DIP. Now let's check in with our good friend Davis Warren. All right, we're here with none other than Davis Warren, known to some apparently as Dave Warren. Got a lot of questions about that. Quarterback, Michigan. What's up, dude?
What's up? Thanks for having me. Some people, this has been a dream of mine. It's been on the bucket list.
Thank you.
Shut up. You're so full of it.
No, I was a day one toucher. So maybe
Let's
not day
go.
one, but at one point. So
Dude,
this
how?
is exciting.
Well, how old were you?
I was in like high school and like the whole TFM thing. And then, you guys were getting pushed on that. And, I thought I was
Frat.
Every high school kid followed TFM, so because they wanted to be, in college. So, and then it kind of just devolved from there into me being a toucher and listening, and I used to have to like commute to school, so I had time on my hands.
I'm surprised there are high school kids doing podcasts. Like that's surprising to me by itself. But anyway, that's amazing to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Little did you
demographics
know.
were, but I was on it.
Yeah, little did you know you'd be here with one of the rowdy gentlemen eventually.
No-
Like that's
no
just
one-
Dylan.
it's a
That's how
bucket
he's
list of
known.
mine. Every week I check it off.
Exactly.
So.
One person has
Yeah.
referred to me as the rowdy gentleman, and I beat his ass in the locker room that day. So
Hey, Davis. So you're saying your buddies call you Dave?
Yeah, buddies call me Dave. Makes me feel old. I'm like the oldest kid in my kind of house, so I get all the old guy jokes.
What's the setup we got here? I'm looking at this. This is putting off mega Southern California college kid vibes.
Yeah, got the Kobe is actually my brother kind of moved in here when I left for college, so the Kobe is all him, but everything else is me. I used to put up like Sports Illustrated magazine covers when
Hell
I was
yeah.
younger on this wall, but I don't spend a lot of time here anymore. So,
you said
I grew up in SoCal.
You said your friends call you Dave. What does Harbaugh call you?
He calls me Davis. He calls me Davis.
Okay.
He keeps it. He doesn't. If you call him like coach, like he hates when people call him just coach. Then he'll just hit you with a player. He'll call you player.
Okay.
So
What, Coach Harbaugh, is that what you're supposed to refer to him as?
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, Coach Harbaugh. So yeah, because if you call him coach, he'll just say, "What's up, player?" So
I like that.
Have you been to any sleepovers?
No.
How did spring ball go, man? I know you guys you wrapped up spring ball, I guess, pretty recently, so you have a break before fall camp starts again. How does all that go? Like, what's your schedule like during the off season and all that?
Yeah, so we're spring ball. We start really early, so we start like end of February for spring ball, and then we ended like first week of April. And spring ball was good. We have a new quarterback coach, so kind of adjusted to that, but he's been awesome. And then April is kind of just workouts and stuff, and then we get this month of May off. So this is kind of when I come home and hang out
Yeah.
before we go back June 2nd, and then we're from June 2nd until January we're rolling. So fall camp doesn't start till August, but June and July is just workouts and stuff like that. So this is the chill time.
You know, it just dawned on me that on our screen, so we're watching you. We got you on the monitor here in the studio, and you're next to KJ, and we've just got two collegiate athletes
Wow.
just
Okay.
right next to each other. KJ, obviously, like alumni now, but that's pretty crazy. The level of athleticism right here on our screen, Dylan.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you followed
I mean,
KJ's
this is a
career?
real sports podcast now.
Hell yeah. Hey, I got to call you out. You DM the Too Much Dip account. Maybe this is how we linked up like a while back. And you're like, hey, I don't know who runs this, but can you tell Dave he's the worst sports gambler or game picker of all time?
Yes, I did do that.
What would lead you to like draw that conclusion? Was it the fact that I had a historically bad year?
I think that kind of was it. I think I just gotten verified too, so I was really trying to flex the check mark.
You have
Kind
to.
of work that a little bit.
I was actually going to ask
So
you
yeah, I
about
think
that.
that was part of it.
I was going to ask you about your verification. Obviously the Instagram verification is huge. It's Twitter doesn't mean anything anymore. Do you guys have like a program rep that makes that happen for you? Did it just show up one day? How does that all work?
We have like a program rep. Like my freshman year, like I wasn't like a big time recruit or anything, so like I did not come into Michigan with like being verified. But my freshman year they like didn't have one, but then like sophomore year we had this new guy come in and he got us right. So
Okay.
um,
God, we need one
you
of
know,
those.
it makes a difference. It's pretty
Absolutely,
sweet.
it
I don't even
does.
know how it all works, but one day it just showed up.
Love that.
KJ, how does that make you feel? Because to my knowledge, you were not verified.
Definitely not verified. But I would equate it to like eventually showing up as a stock player on an old NCAA game. Like that probably was the pinnacle of like feeling like, okay, this college football thing it's really going to pan out to be something. Little did I know, the game would cease to exist like 2 years later, but whatever, the check cashed once.
KJ, is it true that your NCAA rating was a 52?
It was very, very bad. It might have been a 57. I think it's all because I just had to keep SMU pushed down. But my speed, I think they conflated with another player. So if you stuck with SMU for like 3 years, I'll be like a 99 speed
What?
at the end of like my career every single time. And that was valuable. I do want to ask, and I know we're going to go through a little bit of your backstory, which is tremendous, or be the first to congratulate you here as somebody who also went into college, not necessarily highly recruited or anything like that, but going the path of the preferred walk-on. And then with the big news, I believe you got just this past off season or this off season. Congratulations on that. What has that felt like in terms of an achievement standpoint? Like, was scholarship always kind of one of the many goals? Like, did that mean a lot to you, or was it just kind of another step along the way?
Yeah, I feel like it was just kind of like validation, like you put a lot of work in, um, and that's kind of the natural progression. Like you show up as a walk on,
Mhm.
you know, to being on the path to hopefully playing and starting one day, getting put on scholarship is definitely on that trajectory. So that was, just validation and, it was a good thing for me and my family and everyone that's kind of like been there for me along the way, just kind of like it's another step in the right direction. And me and like, I live with like 3 other kids that I live with are were also like preferred walk-ons. We're all really close and they all got put on too. So it was kind of like all 4 of us and we
That's
all
badass.
like contributed last year some and so there's some talk about us being one of the best walk-on classes of all time. So we're trying to live up to that every day. So
Do you
it's
have
been fun.
Do you have a name for your house that you can tell us?
Uh yeah, we called it the barn for a while. It's kind of like red. It's a little old and you know, it's nothing special, but we're like you could hit like a 9-iron from our back porch and be on the practice fields. So it's a pretty good spot.
You playing golf these days?
Lots of golf.
Oh
Lots of
man,
golf.
to be young, Dylan.
Congrats on the scholarship, man. That's really badass. Really is. I have to mention Texas rolling into town next year, 2024,
Come on.
on the Michigan home schedule. Is that something that's on you guys' radar at all? Do you get excited about games like that?
He's got it circled.
Not that I mean,
No,
it's not. It's
I mean
not
we
every-
kind of have it circled. I would say we have it circled. I mean it's a big game for me with your guys' allegiance, of course, but I think that his allegiance at least. But I mean, we were supposed to go down to Austin, which would have been way more fun.
Yeah.
Nothing against the big house, but like this year we play like Eastern Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green. So hopefully I don't get called out on that if like an Appalachian State type thing happens again. But it's nice to. I guess that's bulletin board now, but it's nice to have something
Yeah.
kind of a big dog rolling into town and feel like it's like because those early weeks it's you're always watching those bigger games and like even this year we played Hawaii and UConn, so not really the cream of the crop, and so it makes fall camp like a little more kind of just elevates it a little more. I feel like
Yeah, I mean, Texas, that's gonna be their first year in the SEC. So along with the SEC schedule, you have the Michigan away game. It's gonna be a difficult year. Also, if all goes to plan, that'll be Arch's first year starting for Texas. If we assume
All
Quinn
goes
goes
to
pro
plan.
after this year, so that's a tough road test early on. That's all I'm saying, KJ. Calm down, dude.
I guess I will ask, when we're talking about looking at schedules, feeling or looking at it that you've got so many home games this year, I think that that's likely a blessing from like a routine standpoint. And there's a lot to take away from that. I know Michigan does a tremendous job with getting you guys international games at times or huge trips as teams. But then when you're turning around, you're like, yeah, maybe you're not seeing the marquee names from a program standpoint, but whatever, maybe it's nice to go check out North Carolina in the fall, or where, I don't know, Vegas might be cool to play at Allegiant Stadium. Anything taken away from not like the excitement of the season, but thoughts on like having 9 home games or 8 home games you've got this year?
Yeah, I mean, the home games are awesome. Like the big
Yeah.
house. I mean, it's just like down there in Austin. Like it's the same sort of vibe. I'm sure. Like everyone's going to the games. It's a blast. Like having that home atmosphere. But I will say, like going on the road, I think we definitely take like some pride in that, and being like kind of KJ, like kind of like that tighter group of guys going
Mhm.
on those away games. It's like kind of us versus the world, and that's kind of a fun feeling. Like especially going into Columbus last year. Like that was my first true away game. I felt like because freshman year I didn't travel at all, so that was like my first. Like we played at Rutgers, which was nothing, and then we played at Indiana, which was like kind of nothing, and then we played at Iowa, which was my first
Mhm.
away game, and that was fun. We kind of blew them out, so it really wasn't like felt like a close game ever. So Ohio State was the first one, and that one I was like, that's when I realized how fun the away games are, and I mean, especially when you win uh, a game like that. But we definitely take some pride in that, and I feel like it's fun to go different places and travel all over the place. Like for the bowl games, going places is
Mhm.
a blast. So
So you
we
guys
we take some
obviously
pride in
have
it.
y'all have Purdue scheduled, right? Like and circled.
Of
I,
course, producer Randy went to Purdue, if you're unaware.
he was
So
talking a bunch of shit before the pod.
yeah, he's saying y'all aren't going to be
Well,
shit this year.
our assistant strength coach actually is the head guy there now. Kiero Small, former Razorback fullback, is the head strength coach there. So I guess it's circled. It's a revenge game.
I can't believe we're
That's
12.
an under.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's an underrated aspect, I will say, of or under discussed aspect of college football experience, especially for earlier guys. Like the persona who was at Mad Dog at UT used to get a lot of public attention, the strength coach, but like as a player, you might see your position coach, quarterback's likely different. I'd say 20% of the time on a calendar year. You might see your head coach like 10% time. Often, quarterback's a lot different. But your coordinator, maybe a little bit less so. You're gonna see your strength coach like 70% of the year. And that relationship with that staff is completely different. So, while it was an assistant guy, I do imagine that those relationships often seem more established sometimes than even, your relationship with the cornerbacks coach or whoever it may be on staff.
Yeah, totally.
Uh,
Let's can we do the backstory? Because I'm been just
Yeah.
looking forward to this moment. I'm sure you've done this a million times, but it's tremendous. David, you want to lay it out for us, or how do you want to approach?
yeah. Tell us about, I mean, how you got here. Obviously, like the people who know your story are familiar with the illness, leukemia that you beat. What was that like? I think I read something like you played a set. Did you play like a 7-on-7 game like the day after you were diagnosed?
Yeah, so so I'm sure, I mean, I'm a lot of the Michigan fan base is familiar with it and knows about it, but the washed media maybe not so much. But yeah, so I was diagnosed with leukemia in March of 2019. That was pretty much the spring of my junior year. Um, at that point, I had like some Ivy stuff, smaller schools, like nothing crazy. Kind of knew I could play at a higher level, but just didn't have a ton of tape out there yet. And then, that kind of that like pre-senior year summer is pretty big for recruiting. I mean, if you're a big time guy, it's not, but for a guy like me, like that's normally like a pretty big time to get recruited and, get seen by some mid-major schools, stuff like that. But I knew I was good enough to play at a high level. But yeah, that was kind of like I mean, all the emotions you can imagine with that experience were there of, am I going to play football again? what's this going to be like? Am I ever going to be able to do the things that I want to do again? Because I really had no idea. Like you see the college game day features or like stuff like that about these things happening, and you see them, but you never really think that that could be your reality. And so yeah, that was I got I pretty much it was a Friday, and my dad was like, "God, Davis, you look awful. Like, I got to take you in." And I was like, "Oh, we can just wait." Like, I had a 7-on-7 tournament the next day. Like, I should wait till the next day to go. But he like forced me to go to the urgent care, and then before I knew it, I was at the Children's Hospital and like watching March Madness and just waiting for a doctor to come in and kind of explain what was going on. And then yeah, from that, I mean, I pretty much, you know, from the way I look at it, like from that day on, like everything went how it was supposed to go. Like I had great doctors, great nurses, like a really good support system around me, and they told me it was going to be like 5 to 8 months of treatment. And I was out of the hospital in like 4.5. So diagnosed in end of March, out of the hospital like mid August. And then I kind of had like circled like because like the way I looked at it, like and now like kind of knowing what I know now about like childhood cancer, all that stuff, like I was super lucky. And I was very naive to think that I could just like get through it, come back and be back. Because a lot of the reality is a lot of kids don't get that opportunity or aren't as lucky as I was. And so yeah, but the way I looked at it is I counted off the months and I was like, damn, I could be playing by October, best case scenario. And I really just got super lucky, and that ended up being the case. So I played in the game on October 4th. I was probably like 100 and I don't know, 55 pounds, I'd say. I spent pretty much those 4.5 months of treatment. I spent almost all of it in the hospital. It's kind of like the type that I had was like, it was it's the more kind of deadly form, but it was the faster treatment. I don't know like all the stuff behind it, but the other like kind of more common form of leukemia is like 3 years. So I had the 5 to 8 months of treatment and was out and just got super lucky, and then played at 155 pounds. And I like played like 2 weeks. I could play like a half, and then I had to get blood tests every week, and then they wouldn't let me play the next week because my platelet count wasn't high enough. And then I was drinking like papaya juice. Like I saw something online, you could drink papaya juice. So I got like this papaya juice extract and was taking shots of it before I was going to bed to try to like get my platelet count back up to play the next week. But
Jeez.
yeah, the way I look at it, just super grateful and lucky, and just very blessed to kind of be able to come out the other side, because I've definitely learned and I once you're in this kind of community of like pediatric cancer, you don't really get out of it, and you always, I get DMs all the time and people reaching out to me of this kid and that kid that they know, and for me, just like trying to be a resource and help these kids out, and because I felt like when I was going through it, like there's some stories out there. I remember like there was like the holder at Minnesota,
Mhm.
couple other guys here and there with different things, but nothing kind of exactly like what I went through. And so it's just for me, just being able to be there and be a story and be a voice, I think is important. So yeah, just super lucky to get through it all.
But after that, like, you played those 2 weeks. After that, the rest of the high school career just went completely normal as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then COVID struck like the next kind of March. So then it was
God.
like I just had 2 bad Marches in a row where I just couldn't catch a break. So then I was kind of like screwed out of, because I kind of like repeated a year of high school.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like screwed out of another year. My high school didn't end up playing. And then I was just like sending film around. My high school coach had some connections with Michigan, and, I had some like those Patriot and Ivy League things were kind of there, kind of just, working through them. And like that's kind of the weird part about my journey, though, is like a lot of these college coaches that stuck with me through the whole process, like I'm still text me and stuff. Like when I got put on scholarship, a couple of them reached out to me, and I'm pretty sure that's not very normal with
Yeah.
most kind of kids who get recruited. So that was yeah. So then COVID, and then kind of Michigan came out, and I was actually like taking my SAT, and Coach Harbaugh had called me and like left a voicemail, and I hadn't really had a lot of communication with Michigan before that. And I was like, whoa. And so then my coach called me like 3 times. He's like, "Why didn't you pick up the phone?" And then I ended up calling him back, and he offered me a spot. And they really, they wanted me. They recruited me
Mhm.
like I was a big time guy. They kind of had some guys who knew me, and like I said, I'm close with a lot of like big time guys that I threw with out here in Southern California, and that really kind of just proved I knew that I could play at this level, and I've just kind of been trying to prove it ever since.
That's
Hell yeah.
incredible, man.
Tremendous.
That's an incredible story. Good on you. The timing of it all obviously could not have been worse for you, and trying to get recruited and just make your way through high school and all that. So to be on scholarship at Michigan now, that's incredible. Testament to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm not trying to like brown nose anything, but I was a Wash guy through and through, going to the hospital and listening to podcasts and
Hell yes.
sticking to it. So it was you guys played a part. So I appreciate you guys too.
That's great to hear, man.
That's really cool. Were you surprised during the draft that the Cowboys didn't draft you?
Well, me and Dave have been going back and forth about this, but I am a Birds fan. My dad's from Philly, so I'm born and bred. But the Cowboys taking two Wolverines, that was exciting.
You want to
So,
give us any intel
you
on
guys are
Mozzie and Schoonmaker?
yeah. So little scouting report, Mozzie. He was my welcome to college football moment for sure. Like my first workout was like that first summer, like those videos that you guys talked about. So
Mhm.
it's called a plyo stair. Those like jumps that
Yeah.
you go up.
There it is.
And it's like 18 to 24 inches. I don't know exactly how high it is, but it's like higher than you think. And it's just like meant to be like those plyo boxes, but instead of doing 1 rep, you can do, 6 or 7 in a row. And that was between that and then like the video of him like twisting the like 900 pounds or something.
A workout I
Those
didn't
both happened.
know existed, by the way. I've never
Yeah,
seen that. My gym doesn't have that.
Yeah, neither of those I think exist in any gym. I never saw them.
College strength coaches
But-
are mad scientists everywhere. It's absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, so I think that kind of just sums him up. Like the guy's a freak athlete. He's bigger than you can imagine, and he's the type of guy who, when the NFL's turned into, not to get like super into the X's and O's, but the NFL's at a point where you got to have more defensive backs on the field, and you need D linemen who can be run stoppers, and that's kind of his forte. So we relied on him a lot this year, and coming from the Big Ten, he's well prepared to slide right in there. I hope Jason Kelsey plants him on his ass, but every other week he'll be good. And then
I was going to say run stoppers, but not only run stoppers that can stop, be on the field, but ones that have the stamina to be athletic enough to stay on the field. I would say he's the exception body type there. But sorry, go ahead.
yeah, like he's built like he's like big, but he's like compact. Like it's all there. Like there's not a lot of loose kind of stuff floating around. He's dialed in. So and then Scooney, I think I would say he's a steal. I mean, we kind of had 2 main tight ends this year. One of them ended up transferring to Iowa, but who was supposed to be like a big time guy. He had like a back injury, and Scooney was like, everyone knew he was really good, and he just like took a step up this year. Super fast, like great route runner. So one of my roommates is like a tight end fullback type, so he's like really close with Scooney, and said he's got some like never in a bad position in the run game, so always like in a good spot and winning in the run game, and that's and then like he's a speedster and can catch and made a lot of plays for us this year. So I would say
Scooney.
overall good, both of them. I don't know exactly what the Cowboys need, what their needs are, but yeah,
but Philadelphia had a better draft. You can go ahead and say it. It's okay.
You saw that
Okay.
like
We all know it's
allegiance
true.
changing. He's like, I love them as Wolverines.
Like they
But,
did.
you know.
Yeah, good job.
I mean, as someone who was on the sideline when Georgia just put us in a blender, I'm hoping, I'll leave it at that. So,
yeah.
but I mean, the graphic from like our game against them that they put on their Instagram, like in the past week, of like all the lines from every single player on their defense, like getting drafted in like the first 4 rounds, and like 5 or 6 of them are Eagles, is
Yeah.
that's a welcome sight.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
I was like warming up, like of course like I wasn't even close to playing. I was like fourth, fifth string, whatever. But the warm ups is like my big time to like have fun and mess around a little bit before the game. And I'm like throwing or whatever, and I have my AirPods in, and I just like catch a ball and then kind of like turn around, and like Jordan Davis is like right there, and truly like the largest human being I've ever seen. I was like,
Yeah, they're built different.
and then they took then they took it to us. So.
Man,
It'll happen, man.
hey, to all the listeners out there, when we overuse Scooney over the next 5 years,
Blame Davis.
this is Davis's fault.
Yeah.
it's a great nickname.
'Cause
we call him Maz. Scooney and Maz. So if you want to say Maz, too, you can say Maz.
Scooney and Maz. I was trending Scoon Man, but I think Scooney's better.
Okay.
Scooney's got a little hockey vibe
Well
to it.
dated.
Yeah, it's a little dated. Not a lot of Soundgarden fans listening, but I'm sure the four that are, they really appreciate that reference. Do you ever play the pod in the locker room for the lads? Like, hey, check out these guys.
I can,
Don't do that.
If you want to get run out of a locker room,
you'll
I
get
was going to
stuffed in a
ask who
locker.
has the better, locker room radio ownership and like playlist dominance is a big thing.
It's definitely not me. That's for sure. It's definitely not me.
What's your
So,
playlist
maybe
looking
in the
like now?
maybe in the sauna I'll throw it on.
There you go.
That's
I'll
a
just
better
kind of let it.
Yeah, what's your warm-up
Or,
playlist
like-
looking like before a game?
What was that? A warm up playlist?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm gonna just show how much of a Southern California kid I am. But I'm like an alternative indie guy, like Lumineers, Mount Joy, Camp. I throw a little bit of rap in there, like I'll mix some Drake in. But pregame, I'm normally trying to like bring myself down a level rather than like really get too fired up. So yeah, that's kind of like what I rock with. I don't know if that's not the coolest answer in the world, but
Mount Joy was my last concert pre-COVID, so I vibe with it.
there we go. I'm going back. Me and my girlfriend are going to the one in end of May, so that should be fun.
This dude's just trying to get in the flow state before the game.
I mean,
Pretty much. I'm not fully JJ doing the full meditation before, but I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I'm close.
I'd imagine the position you play kind of dictates what type of music you listen to, right?
It should.
Because you're a quarterback, you don't listen to like I mean, you're not a linebacker, right? You're not trying to like.
Yeah, Brady wasn't doing Pantera.
Yeah, you're not trying to fill gaps and take take running backs out.
Yeah, my roommate, this kid Max, he's like a fullback tight end type, and he listens to like some insane stuff pregame. Like literally tries to go into a different dimension of being.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
It's
About to walk into a car wreck. I get it.
Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
kind of did that in the offseason. He kind of found a different dimension. Did it differently, not necessarily through music, but hey, man, whatever works.
He did.
Well, this was
I guess
fun,
so.
dude.
I want to do one last high school question, and I know we kind of focused on like how all of the perfect things had to happen and things worked out well. Do you ever wonder if there is an alternate dimension where maybe you heard from a high school in Ohio that was attempting to play games during that time frame? Like, is there a possibility that Bishop Sycamore could have reached out and said, if you want to get on the field, if your team's not playing, you can roll out and play some ball with us?
Maybe I should have. Maybe I actually went to prep school in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we had them on the schedule that the year that I came back from being sick. We had them on the schedule. We decided not to play them because like you'd look them up and it would be like a trailer park that would come up, and our like one of the other schools in our league had like played them like a week before, and there'd been a huge fight or something. And my coach was like, we're not doing that. Because kind of like the prep school is like we were like kind of like a New England prep school, whatever, and we had like 30 kids on the team, but like 20 of them go D1. But like all the big time like public schools don't want to play us because they don't want to get beat by a team with like 5 little dweebs on the sideline. But like we played like a couple, like the year before I got there, they played a couple like big time schools in like Jersey and down in the DMV. Like they played Caleb Williams and like almost beat them. So it's like big, it's like real football. But yeah, Sycamore was not in the cards, but maybe I should have given it a look.
You never ran into them Panthers down around Duncanville way?
I don't think they played Duncanville, Dave.
I'm just asking.
Okay.
Bishop Sycamore
I
tried to.
They did. That's
I
the
think
tie-in.
Duncanville would have smoked them.
Probably
I think
so.
I think so too.
Duncanville's a different animal these days.
Home of the 6A state champion Panthers.
We know.
Well, Davis, what can we plug? What do you want? Where can we find you on the socials?
You can find me on Instagram, Davis.Warren, with the blue check mark, of course.
Mhm.
Not verified on Twitter. I know that's the big topic lately, but I don't know exactly what my username is on that, but you can find me on there, Davis Warren. And then look out for us this year, preferably in the first 3 games against Eastern Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green. You'll find me probably. So
Well, a little mop up duty. I like that.
We're
Let's
gonna be
go.
watching.
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna be watching. We're gonna get Will. You know, Will DeFreeze of Sunday Scary circling back fame. His fandom's kind of shifted from a Michigan guy to a Bama guy. He was kind of ground floor on
Oh,
Bama.
he's still
Yeah,
Michigan.
what the heck happened up with that? I know
he
he's
just knows talent.
That's crazy. Well, the last couple of years, he saw something in Bama that no one else did. So he's like, these guys might be pretty good this year. And turns out he was right. So good on
No
look,
titles.
Sometimes you just got a feeling. You
we
gotta go with
actually
it.
took our team trip to Northern Michigan, and I finally got to see what he was talking about. So
Oh, nice.
go through Harbor Springs and
Hell yeah.
got to experience his all that chatter he's had. Didn't get one of those saran wrap sandwiches though. Missed out on one of those.
All right, take 10 seconds and pitch Will on why he should jump back into the Michigan camp this year.
I mean, everyone from Michigan is a Michigan fan, so that I would start with that. I feel like, I mean, he's a Manchester United guy too, right?
He is.
I feel like Manchester United and Michigan, there's kind of some connection there, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of big time. I guess Bama too. I guess you could throw Bama in there, but Michigan is more fun, you know.
And
Love
Ann
it.
Arbor's
We're
not.
kinda-
We all know that.
We're a bit of the underdog, a little bit. You can give us a little underdog story.
No,
think
Michigan
so.
doesn't get to claim underdog. I'm sorry, man.
That's
I
like
mean,
Texas claiming underdog.
This is the
Both of them are
winningest
blue.
program of all
Texas-
time. Is that right?
Yeah, but you know, we've come back from some tough times,
Uh-huh.
and you know, 2 years in a row losing in the playoff. I think, you know, there's some revenge this year. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, Davis, I've become a big fan, man. Your story's incredible, and you're a good dude, and can't wait to see you light up some teams this year and some mop-up duty. But you know, no, man.
You never know, you
This
never
has
know.
been fun. Thanks for hopping on.
You never know. Yeah, thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah.
I know you've got fundraisers that were previously active out there. If you have one coming up in the fall or something like that's happening again, let us know so we
Yep.
can push that.
We'll help you. We'll help you plug
I will.
that.
I have some stuff coming out, so I'll keep you guys
Sounds
updated
good.
and appreciate you having me on.
All right, man. Good luck this season.
Thanks,
Stay
dude.
healthy.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
We'll
Appreciate
see
it.
ya. I told y'all were gonna enjoy that.
Yeah.
Did I not?
No, you did.
I told y'all.
We weren't really sure.
Yeah.
We were like, man, are we going to enjoy this?
Well, I'm talking to the people.
Oh,
the
okay.
people who are listening.
No, we knew. I knew this kid had the juice, man. Big fan. We're going to be rooting for him.
Absolutely.
Oh. I noticed you were rocking your Muggsy jeans recently.
Oh, you did?
I did. I noticed it.
Your girl.
You didn't say anything. What?
Your girl noticed too.
My wife?
What?
You've been
No, just
What?
go ahead. I love my Muggsy jeans. You know that, Dave. I have them in a few different colors.
Yeah, they make the most comfortable jeans, chinos, and joggers ever.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Made from buttery, soft, patented stretch materials that look stylish but are insanely comfortable. Never too baggy, never too tight. I told this to Dylan before the pod. I have a T-shirt from Muggsy. They sent it to me. It's one of my faves. It's got a pocket on it. It's very comfortable. How comfortable is it? My wife that Dylan just mentioned, she stole mine and she sleeps in it. And I'm not kidding. And I try to get it back. She always finds it. It's almost like a frat tea in college that, a young lady would take home, but it's a Muggsy T-shirt that my wife just takes. She just cucks it.
The thing about their clothes, and the jeans in particular, because jeans are historically uncomfortable, but the thing you can't oversell is how comfortable their stuff is. It's unbelievable. The jeans, you feel like you're not wearing jeans, first of all. You feel like you're wearing sweatpants, but they look and feel just like jeans. It's incredible.
They also just dropped Cool Max denim that are like air conditioners for your legs. They spent years in the lab developing the most breathable jeans ever, designed with lightweight fibers to ensure a cool breeze with every single step. These jeans come in enough colors to make a pack of crayons jealous. These are the only jeans you'll wear this summer. Go from the backyard barbecue to the bar in one Swift motion all summer long. Hell, I might even throw in the Discoteca, Dylan.
Cool Max jeans?
Yeah,
The fuck?
it's pretty
I
crazy,
don't know
huh?
about these yet.
Blowing your mind, blowing KJ's mind.
I have to get some.
Well, you can go to Mugsy.com and get 10% off now using code BANG. That's 10% off. Some of the most premium jeans, chinos, swimwear, and shorts on the internet. Mugsy also offers free shipping and returns, so there's absolutely no risk in giving them a spin. If you're in Chicago or Austin, make sure to head downtown and check out their storefronts as well. Easy vibes every time. Enjoy a beer as you shop. If you're in Boston or DC, keep an eye out for a Mugsy store coming in June 2023. Check it out. Mugsy.com. Code BANG. What's going to happen to Jokic?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Are we look, if you needed another reason to hate the Suns, and I know this is a very early Mark Cuban move, but just don't make yourself part of the show.
What if I told you that the Suns owner, the one who was pushed by Jokic? Jokic? Is that how you say it? Jokic?
I say Jokic because you know me.
Jokic.
I've got reference for the Eastern European.
He made a statement today. You seen this yet?
No.
Saying that no action should be done whatsoever.
Oh, it's huge of him.
Yeah. He says it is what it is. He shouldn't be suspended or anything like that. Play on. Go Suns. Something along those lines. So I'm
Very
glad,
cool.
I'm glad he said that. And I think most people would probably agree with that.
KJ, you were very upset about this.
In the moment, I was watching it live when it happened. And in the moment, I was very confused as to why there wasn't being made more like discussion of both like ejection of Matt Ishiba. I guess to reset really quickly, a ball bounced out of bounds that Jokic was attempting to recover, went into the hands of the Suns owner, recent owner, Matt Ishiba. I might be mispronouncing that. And landed in his hands. He held onto the ball. Jokic attempted to take the ball from him and inbound it quickly because one of the Suns players had also tumbled out of bounds. And technically, if he grabs the ball, gets it to the ref and takes back and inbounds it, you know, they got a slight advantage. The Suns player or the Suns owner decides to kind of hold on to the ball, and it caused a little bit of confusion. Jokic rips it from his hands. The ball goes in the air. Ishiba kind of contacts him, and Jokic pushes him back. There was a third fan who was uninvolved in all of this and definitely not the owner of the Suns who did decide to reach in and push Jokic. He was removed from the arena. They stop down. They give a technical foul, but Denver kept the ball. So I immediately kind of thought of, you said it's an early Mark Cuban move. Like, this is certainly something Cuban could be seen doing, but I feel like that's too easy. I want to see Steve Ballmer do this.
Oh, God. The Balms? Dude, the Balmer could not contain himself.
Or I want a time machine, and maybe I want to see Steve Ballmer's predecessor do this with Joel Embiid. I don't know. I'm just thinking of MVP level individuals and see what Donald Sterling's.
Oh, man. I just feel like Donald Sterling would not be equipped to handle this in a way that's in line with 2023 values.
Oh, man.
What was the name of the lady that poured him out? What was the lady that just ended his...
I can see her visor, but I don't know why I can't think of it.
I keep wanting to say like G. Stevani, but it's not that. Viv
Staviano.
That's it. I think that's it. Donald Sterling recorded famously saying some things that you just probably don't want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But
not the best, dude.
A part of Matt Ishiba's background I thought was relevant because all the announcers immediately went to it. Whenever he bought the team, he's a real estate mortgage guy, blah, blah, blah. A Michigan State guy, notably a walk-on at Michigan State's basketball team under Coach Tom Izzo. So whenever I saw this individual here on camera, it was my first time seeing him. First, I'm like, there's no way Jokic knows that that's the owner. He's been on the job like 3 months, and he's not like, it's not Jeff Bezos over there. It's not a notable, a familiar face. I also was a little shocked he was 5'10", and like they make such a huge deal of him being a walk-on at Michigan State basketball. Like, all right, man, you're saying, that's you just he doesn't look the part. Tom Izzo's walk-on standards don't seem to have excelled at all.
I just don't want to live in a world where you can't like forearm shove a billionaire. I feel like that should be in bounds. Sometimes you got to check them, right?
And it wasn't like he wasn't trying to knock him on his ass or anything.
There was some flopping.
It was a get off me. Give me some space. Nudge.
Yeah.
He's getting 2 for embellishment.
It's a big
hockey
man.
reference.
Doesn't take much to knock someone on their backside.
Right. He is a larger fella. But that series is 2-2, and Devin Booker is balling, as is KD. Amazing what adding a generational talent like Kevin Durant will do for your game. But they're actually playing a lot better without CP3, playing at a faster pace, I think. And you know what? I'm happy to see a close series because there's been a lot of bad games in this playoffs, a lot of blowouts. It has paled in comparison to the National Hockey League. But James Harden as well, he's balling. I found myself rooting for Philly, which is a weird spot to be in. I've probably said this in the last couple of weeks, but I don't know. I just like James Harden now. I've always liked Embiid, and I really like Maxey. And you got Micah Parsons down there with a tiny jersey over his shirt. Why was that jersey so tiny?
I don't know.
You see who he's next to?
It made Micah look huge.
It really did.
I saw he was with Lil Baby.
He was with Lil Baby.
Is that who you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. Some people were upset. Like, why would he, he's a cowboy. He's got to only ride for the Mavs.
Played college football in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's dumb. It's dumb. I don't care.
He's from up around
Harrisburg
way.
Yeah, somewhere up around that way. I am not upset by this.
No, I wouldn't either. And I also pointed out that Maxey, that's whose jersey he was wearing, is from Texas. Well, I'm not sure how much that matters.
DFW.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah. He's turned out to be really good and a good dude. I don't know if you guys got anything else on the NBA. We missing anything?
We'll catch it. We'll catch it next week.
Yeah, we will.
We got a little puck tonight. My boys are out there buzzing again.
Fast forward.
You got memed. Did you see DJ Bean memed you?
Yeah. You know what? I might have to mute DJ Bean for a little bit, as much as I love him. And you should check out the Brunch podcast. The Oil Man stuff, he's going real hard, real heavy-handed with the Oil Man memes right now.
Yeah, he's memeing you to death, basically.
He memed me. He did a live-action meme, and he caught me. He caught a body.
He side texted looking for that photo. And I just I don't have the photo. So I just went to the Instagram post and screenshotted it, sent it to him. So I had a hand in that. I should get a hat tip on the meme.
He's got a clip from that movie for numerous occasions, just ready to go.
Well, it is a highly clippable movie, especially if you're doing what we do, and that's shit post on Twitter and do podcasts.
I might have to give that movie another spin.
It does not translate. It's the random drops on the board.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
I don't know why I kept it on the board, but it brings me joy every time I play it.
It's a little long.
What does that mean? I will drink your milkshake.
He is going to drill and take your oil. It's a rule of capture. Come on, you're not up on oil and gas law in the early 1900s?
I've just never heard oil referred to as a milkshake, I guess.
It's an analogy. It's not a literal milkshake. It'd be pretty dope. You wouldn't understand, man.
I'm going to have to watch that movie.
You don't have any mineral rights out around Pecos Way.
I watched that once, and my thoughts were, okay.
Now, here's Dylan to tell us why Daniel Day-Lewis not that great. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, he's great.
Doesn't sound like
he is great. He's a fantastic actor. One of the best, in fact. Objectively.
Impromptu stream room.
Anyway.
If he did a movie with Michael Bay, your pants would explode.
I'm not a Michael Bay guy.
Daniel Day-Lewis in the new Transformers? What are you talking about?
Dude, sign me all the way up.
Yeah, I'd watch for sure.
I'm watching.
Let's party.
Stars got their D slammed in the door last night. I don't know if you watched. It was kind of nice being able to go to bed before midnight. I I was around until 4-1. I was like, okay, this is enough to keep me up. And then when it went 5-1, I was like, yeah, it's just not. So I went and got ready for bed, then checked it, and I think it was 5-2 and then 6-2, and just not good. The little anecdote you're seeing on Twitter from Dallas sports people is like, wow, maybe Miro Heiskanen is the most valuable player on the Stars, to which I would say maybe so, because they looked completely incapable of doing anything without him out there. He got hit in the face with the puck, though. I don't know if you saw. Yeah, took it right here. I don't know what the full extent was. Got stitched up. I don't know if there was concussion, but he went down, and that's how they scored their first goal. And that kind of changed the complexion of the game. Not even kind of. It did. If he comes back, which I think he will, tomorrow night, I think they're fine. I think they tie it up, go home. But if he's not going to play, this thing is probably church.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, okay.
shouts to the Kraken. I don't know. It was hard to. I turned it off earlier than that. It was a hard suck night for me. So I was straight to Shiv and the Roy fam about
Succession.
5 minutes into the second period.
Oh, you got your suck on.
Yeah.
Where would you rate
Sunday
that
night suck
episode?
time.
All-time Succession?
It's up. Like, I felt like they turned the heat up on every single category, but I didn't love anything that happened.
Okay, that's the wrong answer. Time to party. I got a lot of people pushing back on my take that it might be the best episode of the series.
I got it number 3 in the season.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
Y'all,
Yeah,
you
it
guys
was a
don't
good
understand
setup
it.
episode.
You don't understand
a tremendous
television.
setup episode.
I'll go 3, 4, 7.
Yeah, all right. All right. Well, let's party so I can get the hell out of here. These guys are just haters. I don't love it. This is the part of the podcast where we talk sports while we're partying, man.
Or maybe 3, 5, 7. If 5 is the one where they go to Norway. Is that 5 or is that 4?
Ooh, that was a good one too. That was a good one.
Anyway, whatever you think, David. All right.
I don't really have much on New Mexico State University basketball players pantsing the coaches, but apparently that's a thing.
We can bypass it, but we'll do our top 5 coaches we'd like to see deal with the pantsing. This is probably something that I wanted to ask Davis about and how he thinks this would blow over if any player in the Michigan locker room tried to pants Jim Harbaugh at any point in time.
You think it would escalate to blowing over?
That wouldn't go well, man.
Like post national championship celebration and somebody pulls this, like you think of whatever the most positive time is and somebody does this as a joke. It's not going well.
I can tell you this as a fan of Baylor, you pants Dave Aranda, he's kicking the shit out of you on site. Do not, under any circumstances, pants Dave Aranda or Nick Saban for that matter. I think he's not. I don't think he's going to whip your ass, but
that would not go well.
No, he's.
He'd make sure you never got a job in this country again.
Hey, and breaking
former
news,
Baylor grad Mike Singletary might appreciate it. He might even do it himself.
Having fun.
It's a very niche reference. But
who? Breaking news. You know who would not appreciate it? Bob Huggins. So we're learning he dropped. Apparently dropped something on an AM radio sports show. It might have his job in jeopardy. Yeesh. Oof.
What school was he referring
to?
Xavier.
Catholic school.
Evoking, yes.
So.
Removed a letter from the word flag. Not something you want to do at any point in time, especially in this day and age of inclusion.
Yeah, bad decision, coach. Tough scene.
Is Super Sage still with us? Because I made people watch his apple tearing last week. Is he doing all right?
He won.
Super Sage won over fighting over around 1FC way. I think this fight was in Colorado.
You can't say way for that.
I can. That's what league he's fighting in, which is no joke. And you know what? It didn't start good as he got dropped by a jab, which seems to happen to him a little bit. But he got the submission with the heel hook, or maybe it was the ninja hook. We don't really know.
He hooked
a callback.
Something.
He hooked it, but he got the win versus some dude I'm not familiar with. Got that sub.
39 seconds over Ahmed Mustaba.
Very cool.
Sage is still in pretty good physical condition too.
Yeah, hashtag Super Sage so he can see it if you want.
Yeah, he still has his body fat percentage very low still.
He is, if nothing else, he is a insane athlete. He is a very, very athletic young man. And
Also a nice fella. Bubbly.
potentially the nicest guy we've ever
He's
encountered.
way too nice
on
to be a
previous
fighter,
podcast.
honestly. I think that's his biggest problem is that he's
Yeah,
too nice.
I don't know if he's built like that. I feel like that Houston suburbs upbringing doesn't really lend itself to cage fighting. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Really got passed over for Ryan Gosling for playing Ken in the upcoming Barbie film, but you know he was my vote.
With acting chops, he would be a good Ken.
Oh yeah, with that jaw.
Yeah.
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 Bucks fire
Can
Mike
I,
Budenholzer.
Well, yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
That was not breaking news. That happened like 8 days ago, but we don't do this pod very often. Sorry.
Nick Nurse would be a welcome hire here in Wisconsin. I'll say that, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, got a local touch with you.
Let's jump back to fighting real quick. Dylan's favorite, Mark Zuckerberg, won his first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition. The headline's BJJ, and so I had to stop down to make sure I got that correct. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition.
Come on. Who's he going
2
up
medals.
against?
It's a white belt competition. He's going against other people who've been training for like a year or two. So it's not nothing.
He was one of
I'll tell you
2 over 37-year-old retired content creator Micah Weiner.
something. Listen,
That's a good callback.
if I try my hand at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, getting started, I'm a year in, like I'm gonna go to a competition and see how I'm handling myself. If I lose to fucking Mark Zuckerberg,
He's not a little
swear to
dude.
God, I'm never ever gonna be seen in public again, much less like try this sport again.
How does it make you feel knowing that he could fuck you up
He's
right
just
now?
total. He couldn't. He's just total dork status.
Dude, he
could
gets a
not.
hold of your collar. He's going to give you the ninja choke.
The sheer will of me like not wanting to be bested by Mark Zuckerberg would take me over the top.
Who's the billionaire you'd least like to lose to in a jiu-jitsu match?
It's Mark Zuckerberg.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like Elon would be more embarrassing.
At least Elon is like what 215, 220. He's a bigger lad.
Dude, Zuck is not small. I think
Zuck is not big.
he's not tall, but he's solid.
Remember how small his dad was at our South by event?
No.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this
On
up.
his dental panel. I don't know why I said it like that. He was at our South by event had
Dave,
an unrelated dental panel.
He's 5'7".
Yeah, but he's stout.
No,
And
he's not.
It's jujitsu, dude. It's not hand reach. You're rolling around.
All right.
He's gonna put you in a guillotine.
It's not hand reach.
Okay,
Speaking of hand reach, I would give my billionaire I'd least like to lose to is Mackenzie Scott. Easy answer.
Okay, according to this website, which I don't know, celebsline.com, who knows if that's accurate or not, but it says that he's 5'7", 146 pounds. Dave, I would pummel this dude.
I don't think you
I don't need an ounce of training. I will destroy Mark Zuckerberg in anything physically.
Hey, good Mackenzie Scott reference.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Wouldn't mind seeing that.
God, I would, oh my God.
It would get categorized differently on websites.
So it says here A's play-by-play guy. I don't really know what that's referring to.
I think I do. Yeah. A's play-by-play announcer mistakenly, they were playing the Royals in Kansas City. They took a little field trip to a museum of sorts. And what I don't think they realize is that he's bilingual and was efforting to refer to the museum, the Negro League Museum. He is also bilingual and
You said that
used
twice.
different language.
What language?
I meant
Look, listen.
biracial. Biracial is what I meant to say both times.
He dropped a hard
And so he was saying he saw a lot of his own. Like he was saying, I saw my at the museum. And
I don't know
he
what
dropped
JJ's
a hard
trying to do.
R in the Negro League Museum.
To be clear, he's not
Unfortunate.
biracial.
He's
Is he?
definitely not biracial. And you
Okay.
would not get on national television and say,
this-
I went to my N-word
If y'all are
museum.
confused about what KJ's trying to say, and you probably are because I know I am, this guy dropped a hard N on television.
It's just not what it's called, dude.
Can I say that I'm uncomfortable saying Negro League Museum? Like that feels like it's
Yeah,
you know.
it's the owned name of it. That you know, it's fine.
But yeah, he didn't say that. He said the other one. Unfortunately,
It does remind
it's
me that
truly-
there is some confusion out there as to what word is the hard R and what word is the hard N. I think we all know, but some people think the hard R is a disabilities reference.
Oh yeah.
And I know it only is this one, but
Are you calling out
Anyhow.
Glenn Powell?
I don't know who it was.
Oh, okay.
Sad final note. Kentucky Derby happened. Somebody won. Mage, I think.
Oh,
You probably talked about it already.
Mage one.
A lot
of death.
of unfortunate events, but we won't even get into it here on the Watch Media Network as it was a tremendous event, I heard.
It did look lit.
It looked fun. Yeah. Sad day though.
You would have bricked your fit.
You fucking kidding?
You would have fucking rolled up in some like busted ass Joseph A. Banks suit from 2004.
Dude, the whichever horses would like are better in the slop would have won because that place would have been soaked if I showed up there.
What does that mean exactly?
It would have been fucking moist all in the track, Dave. I'm talking
Just straight
mud,
up dampness?
just slop everywhere.
Fucking Eric Dampier over here.
Fucking slop.
Is there any other carpetbagger take than just like categorizing anything south of, I don't know, Ohio as a South and rolling in with a bolo tie? Or is that just saying like I'm from West Texas? And that's a fit that was gotten off.
I don't know.
That was a
Dylan,
nod to
Dylan
Al
was
Pecos way.
Dylan was critical of part of the fit.
I said that from the
Different
waist
part
up.
of the South.
I said from the waist up, Brett looked as good as anyone. I love the bolo
Okay.
tie because it's different. You don't see it. He had the
For good reason.
sunglasses. The coat was good looking. That's what I said.
Okay.
Just waist up though.
Hey, another non in better A's news, friend of the show, Brent Rooker, hitting 330, 10 homers, 26 RBIs. How about that?
Leads the league in OPS still, or
As of
It's up
yesterday,
there.
I think so. Yeah. He's hitting 330%, KJ. I don't know if you saw that. That's going to somehow
I
end up in a
appreciate
clip.
it.
That's going to end up in a clip. And I'm going to just put
He's
it out
hitting it-
there to get smoked. We're going to gain followers.
He is hitting at 1/3% right now.
That's the
Let's
way-
just hope that we have the too much dip effect on Davis Warren's season.
Yeah.
And maybe that non-conference schedule isn't the only place you see him.
God, I hope he balls out. I
you
hope
know.
he goes to Purdue and just wrecks Purdue.
that'd be so sick.
Just fucking just
I'd buy his high
stomps.
school jersey.
Should we need as much. It's kind of weird that I don't have a high school jersey at this point. As much as I should be applauded for not bringing up a certain quarterback turned running back during the Davis Warren. People were waiting for it, but I didn't do it, man. Sometimes you got to leave them.
He probably read up on Jaquin just to be prepared for your question.
He listens, man. He knows. Well, that was the sports party. Now, Dylan,
Did a lot.
take us home. We got to run it back. Oh, short one.
It's a shorty. Yeah, I got wrapped up in the Davis interview, so I didn't really take a whole lot of notes. Anyway, we're gonna run it back. The segment during which we talk about what we already talked about. Noah Gregson, you stink, baby. He's the one with the dumb haircut who took the right hand. Anyway, KJ is saying suck for Succession. Dave said out UFC way as he shoehorned that one in. It was good.
Mhm.
And finally, Dylan has a suit from 2003 that he stole from a Jose Big like a bitch.
What?
Who wrote that one? Dude, my fits are dope. I'll put a fit together on you.
You stole from Joseph Banks? It was probably a $30 suit.
I bought one. I got 16 free. It was a good sell.
They give you
just-
4 ties and part of the company for free just for showing
So,
up.
like, dude, you are now the CFO.
We're begging you to take a
Just
suit.
please take this fabric. Like, we got way too much, man. We don't know what to do with it. We're gonna hear. This is enough
We all
suits
know
for
that's
a
not
lifetime.
true because we know that Dylan's wife has completely curated his closet. Nothing that's like over 6.5 months old exists in there.
It's
That's true. There's
That's
no.
facts.
I can confirm. There's no Jose Banks in Dylan's closet, to my
I
knowledge.
say that with all due respect.
Well, thank you guys.
Well, that was fun.
That was a good one.
Thank you, Davis Warren. Go follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
He's
thanks.
verified.
Thanks, Dave. The other Dave.
See him at an upcoming Mount Joy concert.
Yeah, like he really does. He's into bands that like will play like second line ACL lineup. Like they're not going to headline, but like you see them like they're going to do Coachella,
Mm-hmm.
which is dope. Good for him.
I'm in on it.
All right, we'll see you next week. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Chips with the dip, that's all I know. I don't want my chips plain, I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
Damn!
When my team wins a big game, it's good. But when my team doesn't win the big game,